Hey guys.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast. And we're on season 5, episode 3. 'Twas lit, to say the least.
'Twas lit.
'Twas lit. Guys, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network, where we have this podcast, we have our Vanderpump Rules podcast, and we have One Season Wonders, the show where Meredith and I watch a show that only had one season and report back to you on it. I believe all 8 episodes of NYC Prep are out and about for your viewing or listening pleasure. So congrats to you.
But you can view the show and listen to us. You can
listen to us and picture it in your mind.
It's great.
Picture us in your mind doing this. Also follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. It is related to Vanderpump, but it's for our whole network.
Everything.
Same thing with our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Guys, there are so many fun freaking things on Patreon. So for $1 a month, you can get access to our fun pre-show where Meredith and I catch up. We're planning a trip to New Orleans. So if you join the Patreon, you're going to be invited probably.
You can get the invite to the date we are going. We are going.
We are all going. And then you can also get access to any episodes that we record early. This mainly goes to One Season Wonders and our Vanderpump podcast because we're not doing those with live seasons. But once we go back and do Summer House seasons 1 through 4, they will be exclusively out on our Patreon until we decide to release them to the public. So that's where you can check that out. And then for $2 a month, you'll get access to everything I just mentioned, plus access to our after show, which is right now just for Vanderpump, but again, will be for Summer House in the future. But that's where we do any spoiler thoughts that we had relating to the episode we just watched, because we try, when we go back and do old seasons, we try and do them as spoiler free as possible. Also for $2 a month, we will say your name on the podcast. So we would like to shout out Jackie and Tracy and Mariah and Dustin. Those are our patrons. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned too. Plus we ask you questions relating to the episodes that we're watching. So this works really well with our live episodes. So at the end of the show, we're going to give you the thoughts that Jackie has given us. They relate to mainly like last week's episode, but because so much spilled into this week, we'll just get to it at the end. And then we will pick a patron of the episode, but because we have 2 $5 a month patrons and they are actually married, we're going to do a couple of the episode. Woo! And that is Jackie and Dustin,
our favorite, our king Patreon, and queen,
our Patreon parents that are going to adopt us.
Our Patreon parents, I love that.
Because Meredith and I are a mess and need parents.
Listen, I was telling my mom about Jackie and Dustin. I just love them so much.
You go home, you're like, Mom, I met these people on the internet, Jackie and Dustin, and I think they're adopting me.
I was like, I just love them so much.
I love that. I need to tell my mom about them.
Maureen knows.
Oh, thank God Maureen's aware. But yeah, so I think that's all the house cleaning. I did that really quick. Craptastic blog.
You crushed it.
I finally fucking did it. Craptastic blog.
Also, I loved this episode. I loved all the yelling it made. Every time I see this show, I'm like, wow, this really was my quarantine life. This
was the best. Also, really quick, leave us a review, rate, subscribe, all that shit.
Do all the things.
This podcast is still new. We only have 2 ratings still, but are both 5 stars. So we super appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We want 3 reviews by the end of the season. I'm putting that out there.
That would be awesome. And if they're all 5 stars, well then
even better.
The best. Okay, but I think that's it. I'm gonna assume not mixing up because it is Saturday morning or Sunday morning. What day is it?
I wish it was
Saturday.
What
day is today?
I'm drinking water because I'm a little hungover.
I'm drinking water because I'm not hungover, but I ate like really shitty these past few
days. You know what? We're mixing it up
water.
How Carl does. We're just chugging water.
Oh my God, we're sober. We're like sober Carl. Okay.
Just for the mornings.
Perfect. Okay, so previously on Summer House, there was a lot that happened, so everyone bear with me. We went roller skating. It was Kyle's birthday, and we did dinner, and him and Amanda are so good right now. Meanwhile, Steven and Lindsay are dating, and they're slowly falling apart because Steven's trying to work, and Lindsay will not make him a sandwich. Carl is sober and he's glowing and he's learning how to handle his previous trauma. Luke and Hannah are flirting, but Hannah is way more involved in the relationship than Luke is, because Luke is actually interested in Sierra, the new girl. Hannah talked to Sierra about Luke, and then Hannah confronted Luke with Sierra there, and Luke made it very clear that him and Hannah were not dating, and then Hannah cried.
Oof.
And we pick up right where we left off.
Yeah, right in the middle of that fight.
Is crying, and she's like, "You're not my friend, bro. You're not my friend." And Luke is like, "I'm offended that you said we're like, not friends.
Watch the words you're using. Use those words wisely.
Be careful what you say." Like,
my God,
calm down. So Hannah goes into the pantry with Paige and Amanda, bawling.
I just love what, even in a new house, what the pantry does for people.
The pantry just represents.
It's like a
meltdowns, make
therapist zone,
yeah. Are you stressed? Go make out in the pantry. Are you sad?
Want a
Go cry in
to
the
make
pantry.
Out in. I really want a pantry. I wish my friends had a pantry.
When we finally can afford houses, we're going to have to look at the pantry, and we can record podcasts from there. Since we're probably doing this until we're like 100 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And we can record from our pantries.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually look into finding a pantry.
Oh my God.
Okay, so in the pantry, Hannah's crying. She thinks Luke just brought Sierra to make her feel bad. She's so mad because Luke always got super upset when Hannah would flirt with someone else last season, which I don't think Luke got upset. I think he just wanted to, when you like flirt fight, he was going, it's the game. He was playing the game, but Hannah didn't know she was in the game, which I think was, again, the miscommunication.
They were not on the same page ever in this relationship.
Like in that point, Hannah was like single, and she, like last season, she was like flirting with other dudes. And then Luke would also flirt with her and like prevent her from flirting with the dudes, which he thought was probably hot. And then she would get like mad, and it looked manipulative, which I don't think it meant to be that way. I think it was just like, we were reading
because they give us the flashbacks from last season, and I don't think he's trying to be manipulative, but in a way it kind of becomes manipulative a little bit. Like,
because he won't let her
cock blocking her. Yeah. And she's in a sense letting him do it. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration with Paige and Amanda came from last season, is they were seeing all this happen and getting so frustrated. And Hannah thought they were on the same page, but we are clearly saying they were never on the same page.
I think Hannah liked it because it showed that Luke like really wanted her, and I think she enjoyed that. But then she would tell Paige and Amanda like, he won't let me flirt with other people. I think again it's like you're telling your friends one thing, so then they interpret it a different way than you do. So then now Hannah's like, we were dating, and Luke's like, no, we weren't. And Paige and Amanda are like, I'm so confused. I thought the wedding was gonna come because we were on a different fucking page. Like, all three parties have no idea what's going on. Anyway, Paige is super over it because this is basically Hannah's toxic relationship, and it wasn't even a relationship.
It is so wild to me that the relationships that aren't real relationships are sometimes the most worst. Fucking dramatic.
Yeah, same. So then Luke and Sierra walk away from the group. I think this is great on Sierra's part because she's basically like, hi, I appreciate this, but we're going to walk away and discuss this on our own.
Yeah. She said she really wanted to know what happened and she wants to hear his side. Mm-hmm. But he said, I think we should do this when we haven't been drinking. And she was like, no,
we're going to do it now. So Sierra asked Luke, like, why he's diminishing what him and Hannah had. Like, why are you making it not a big deal? Because Hannah's sitting here fucking crying her eyes out. And Luke's basically like, we weren't even in a relationship. Why are you mad, bro? And
we're friends. Yeah. And she tells him, Hannah and I have talked. We've swapped stories. Like,
here's the timeline. We've figured it out. You're playing both of us. And Luke said that Hannah's was his best friend last summer, and Hannah was dating other guys, which was kind of true at first. But then Hannah dumped her dude. And
for Luke. Yeah.
But Luke here's where I think a lot of miscommunication came, right? Hannah was dating someone in the house. Armand, whatever his name is. And then Luke came in, and him and Hannah would flirt, but Hannah made it a little clear, not totally clear, but a little clear that she was dating someone. So Luke then starts dating other people, but him and Hannah still come to the summer house and flirt because Luke's single doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then Hannah breaks up with Armand to date Luke, but Luke's got other shit happening because he didn't ask Hannah to break up.
No.
So now it's just like...
I think there was an assumption that like not that they would be in a relationship, but they would be seeing each other.
Yeah, and only each other. And Luke was like, that was never in it.
But it was never discussed whether they were or even weren't doing that. Again, there was just no discussions. They just were moving along.
Different pages, different books, different languages, different libraries. We have no idea what's happening. But yeah, Sierra's basically like, okay, great, you guys were friends. Did you sleep with all your friends and like hook up with them? Like what? Yeah. Which I appreciate. Sierra's very much not letting go. But then Luke says he's always been honest about his relationship
very
with
upfront with Hannah last summer. And Sierra says no. She's like, I think you were sending mixed signals, which I think is true. I don't think he realizes what signals he's sending.
I just don't think he thought to say, because Hannah, I think, is the type of girl that you need to say, I am only seeing you, or I am seeing other people. It is not just you.
She needs really clear communication.
Luke's more of like, if we don't bring it up, like it's not an issue. So like, if you don't bring up me seeing other people, I can do it because you're
also and it's like, if we never explicitly said we were together, so like we're not, but like Hannah's just assuming they're kind of together.
Yeah, no, it's bad. And Luke,
here's my thing. If you can't be best friends with someone and flirt with them when there were feelings involved and like physical connections made last summer, you can't keep that flirty banter with someone.
Yeah.
That you like, if you want to be friends, that's fine. You can do like light flirting, you know, like how you're just like joking with people, but he's hardcore flirting and texting her. And that's where the mixed signals are. I don't think he understands that.
Yeah. I don't think he realizes that Hannah has the feeling she does. I think he thought it was just like a flirty thing, which I'm like not trying to defend him, but also I really just think we're on different page. Like they had no
I don't think
idea.
He's being malicious. He's not intentionally
not manipulative, not malicious.
But
it's just like,
when you're like unaware of things too, it still is your fault. Like you need to become aware of like what your actions have on other people. Yeah.
Basically Luke tells Sierra that he didn't mean for like this to happen, which I believe. And then he doesn't know what to do right now, but he wants to move forward with Sierra. And he's very clear about that with Sierra. And she says like Sierra basically feels bad for Hannah because clearly Hannah cares a lot about Luke. But Sierra also really likes Luke and she wants to kind of see where it goes. And I think that's fine because Sierra really doesn't owe Hannah anything.
No,
like,
I think she's friends. I think Sierra's navigating this perfectly. She is standing up where like Luke is wrong and telling him he's wrong. And she's like noticing that there are red flags, she says. Obviously, like he doesn't like that Luke, the way like Luke talked to Hannah. Like those are things that I think is right in. Like Luke should not have been like the way they communicated that was horrible. They both were terrible to each other. But Sierra does not owe Hannah anything. I think she's standing up where there are problems and saying like, well, that's not cool. Or, you know, like you were talking to us both, like, but she does not owe like loyalty and girl code really to Hannah.
Yeah. So, we'll get back to this. Don't you even worry. But let's go to my favorite fucking argument of the whole season so far.
The sandwich.
So we go back to the kitchen, whatever. Hannah's like, I need to go lie down. She's being kind of dramatic, but I get it. And Steven's basically like, I'm going to go do some work, even though it's 10 p.m. on a Sunday or something, which like, whatever. Lindsay's pissed. And Danielle's also like, it's super fucking weird. Like, I think Danielle's just trying to be that friend that's like, yeah, it's weird. Okay.
Yeah. They're like, he's MIA. He's still working. This is ridiculous.
Lindsay she goes to find Steven and she like walks in and he's working and he says he needs to work. And Lindsay's like, this is super frustrating because you worked literally all day. And Steven's clearly not listening to Lindsay because he's working. And then she starts yelling at it.
And she starts like yelling. Like the Luke and Hannah fight slowly progressed into yelling. She just starts yelling.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? And it's like, oh, like literally.
You're working?
And Steven's like, hey babe, can you lower your voice? And then that makes Lindsay
That is a trigger for her, clearly.
She's like, you want me to lower my voice? You want me to make you a sandwich? And he's like, what? We just ate dinner. I'm confused. So
you asked me to make you a sandwich? When have you ever made me a sandwich?
She made him lunch. One time she made him a sandwich, and Steven's never made Lindsay a sandwich and doesn't even care if she's been fed.
I think we've been in this house for 4 days, by the way. 4 days.
Also, who the fuck cares? This is why I can't be in a serious relationship, because I don't care if you've been fed. You can feed yourself, which is my thing.
If you saw someone was busy, you would make them lunch.
Specifically, if they're like, hey, can you make me a sandwich? I'd be like, yes, because you are busy and hungry. But she's yelling that Steven's never cared if she's been fed. But at noon, I'm not going to look at my significant other and go, hey, have you eaten today? Because I don't care. You're a grown-ass adult.
And
Lindsay's
they're
33.
in different rooms working. Like,
I know.
They're not even sitting right next to each other. It's not like he's like, hey, do you want lunch?
Yeah. If you're not as busy as me, I'm going to assume that a 33-year-old woman has had time to feed herself. Yes. Hilarious. And so I also love, where is Lindsay's room located in this house? Because Paige and Amanda are near the front door and they're listening to the whole thing. So I have no idea. I thought they were on the first floor. I have no idea what's happening.
Okay, I think if you walk into the front door, there's that large table that Kyle and Amanda had dinner at. So like this is the square. Down here is the I don't know if you can see my hands.
Yeah, I can see it.
Door, and like this is
the front door, the table.
I think their room is over here.
Oh, you think it's on that first floor and not upstairs or down? Okay.
I don't think there are really many rooms upstairs.
Okay. I think Kyle and Amanda have the room upstairs.
I think they have a room upstairs, but Amanda and Paige, actually a lot of rooms are upstairs because they have balconies, but Paige and Hannah don't have a balcony, and I don't think Danielle
Sierra and Luke don't.
Luke does, because he shares his with Carl. Luke goes through like the house and where people's rooms are later.
Right. Oh, I just need a layout of the house. Someone send me a map of the blueprints, but whatever. So then let's get back to my fight. I can't not talk about it. I love this thing. So Lindsay's freaking out about Steven asking for a sandwich, and Steven is still like, I don't know why we're having this argument. I'm really trying to work right now.
So fucking confused because he's working. She's screaming about a sandwich, and he's like, I came to the house to support you. I've listened to you. He goes, I've listened to you complain. I'm trying to support you through these things, but like, I have to work.
I get this because Steven is not friends with these people. He is not even a cast member on the fucking show. He is Lindsay's boyfriend. And she's like, hey, I have to do this for 6 weeks. Will you come with me? And Steven's like, sure, I will come support you. But he has a life that he's trying to fucking live. And Lindsay will not let him. Like, as a viewer, I do not care if Steven is in the group or not, because Steven is not a cast member. So if Lindsay's in the group,
really bringing that much,
no. So if Steven wants to go work at 10 p.m., I don't give a fuck. Like, it's fine,
because it's not his job to like do this reality TV show.
His job, Lindsay, is to do the work he's doing at 10 p.m. Would you be mad if your boyfriend is still working? Would you be mad?
So thus far, we've had Thursday through Sunday. I would be a little pissed about him working on the weekend so much.
Okay.
Like later when they fight later, she talks about quality time. They have not spent time together, those two.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be pissed about. But I think she's channeling this into the sandwich. Because she can like pick at that.
She's trying to go, you're not spending time with me, but then you're using me to like better you, and you're not trying to support me or better me.
You're not putting anything into me.
But Steven's literally like, I dropped my whole fucking life to come support you on this thing, which I think he thinks is enough. I don't know. I wouldn't be this pissed. I would probably sit down with my boyfriend, like a 26-year-old probably would, and say, hey, I understand you need to work, but I miss spending time with you.
I'd be like at night when you lay down in your bed, I would be like, I didn't see you at all today. Like after the skating party, I'd be like, I'm really sad. Like you started skating with us, but then you had to go to work, and like I know you have to work, but like we need to figure out how to carve time for us.
Yeah, I'd probably also be like, how is work? Like what's happening that's so busy, to try and understand. And like I think Lindsay's just like, you don't have enough time to make a sandwich or hang out with me. Fuck you.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, you don't even hang out with me. You don't give me what I need. And I have to give you a sandwich? Are you fucking kidding me?
This is insane. And even Steven, who's like our age, he's like 25, 26. He's like, Lindsay, you're unable to have an adult conversation right now. Let's not do this.
Screaming. She keeps screaming, how many sandwiches have you made for me?
And then Lindsay's sitting here and she's like, stop attacking me. And he's like, I'm really not trying to fucking attack you. And Carl, everyone's in the kitchen.
Everyone is listening because you can hear it on the mics, like the subtle screaming from the mics on their own mics all throughout the house.
Carl's literally like, what's this sandwich issue? I love it. And Danielle is sitting there and she's like, God, they better not get fucking married. This is insane.
Yeah, because she's like, they're not great. This wasn't working when like they were living together. Yeah. Like, why would it work here? Like, yeah, they cannot get married.
But then it steps up because Steven's basically like, you need to move your shit and stay with Danielle for tonight because this is insane.
He told her to go stay.
He was like, go stay with Danielle tonight. Like, if you're going to sit here and yell with me, you should go stay with Danielle tonight.
I didn't catch that.
I was like, shit. That just stepped up the next thing because then she's like, you need to respect me. And like, you haven't made me any sandwiches. She kept saying, how many sandwiches have you made me?
She just kept screaming that phrase and I love it.
Count the sandwiches, Steven. There's been no sandwiches. And I was like, oh. And then Lindsay does
You've made him one sandwich. It
probably wasn't even that good either.
No.
I'm not good at fucking sandwich.
Oh my God. He clearly knows to like give somebody else his lunch order.
Yeah. So then Lindsay leaves. I think Carl's probably like, I would make this dude a sandwich. Is he okay?
Does he need food now?
Is he okay? Is he hungry? So Lindsay leaves and it's like Danielle sees her and is like, how are you okay? And Lindsay's basically like, I just need Steven to take care of my needs. And Danielle's like, this needs to end. This whole relationship.
Well, she's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then she starts chugging rosé and Danielle's like, yeah, you look okay.
Yeah, this is great. I kind of feel for Danielle. It's hard to be the friend that has to deal with this when all you want to do is say this relationship needs to end. Working. But your friend would then get mad at you if you said that. So you just have to sit there and be like, are you fine?
Lindsay's in a precarious spot, which like Paige and Amanda and them bring up like when they're downstairs in their room that it, like Lindsay's 34. We saw her say she wants to get engaged, married, babies. Like biologically does not have that much time to like, if this doesn't work, she would have to restart, invest another year in dating and maybe get engaged. And after that year, then like the engagement, like she doesn't really have time to start over. So she's holding on so tight to this relationship to make it work because she just wants to like be married and have kids.
Mm-hmm. You know what she should do if she wants kids so bad? Her and Carl are already really good friends, right? So they already kind of have like a husband-wife relationship in the sense that they're like very comfortable and open with each other. So then they can just have a kid like scientifically, what's it called? In vitro
fertilization and retro.
In vitro, they have a kid and then it's perfect.
I don't think Carl's ready for that. Carl's commitment issues. A child would just throw a major wrench.
Yeah, you're
She needs to freeze her eggs or like have a baby on her own.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get a sperm donor, not Carl.
It's too much. Okay, whatever. It's time for bed. Before bed, Hannah and Paige talk about the Luke thing. And Hannah's like, it's not healthy for me anymore, which like, thank God, girl, get out of it.
Let's move on. Yeah.
We get cuddles with Kyle and Amanda. We get Lindsay and Danielle shacking up together and Steven's pissed. Steven lays down and he's talking to himself about how pissed he is.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the scapegoat of this. And then right before he goes to bed, Kyle screams, are we all going out?
Oh, I wish. I do kind of miss it. I miss, even though the cameras weren't really allowed where they went out in the Hamptons, they always had that phone footage that was just so good. And I miss everyone walking in from going out.
They're like getting ready. They like, I mean, they still get ready, but the getting ready for the night out, they like show like the timestamps of people rolling in at night. Like we still get some timestamps, but
I miss people rolling in at night and some going upstairs to their bed and some going to the kitchen and then like Kyle falls asleep in the pantry and like Amanda can't find him and it's so fun. Whatever.
We haven't had any like really drunk shenanigans, you know, like
I can't.
And like some girls like walk in with their heels, like you're just stumbling home.
I don't need the fight. I just need the shenanigans. Like the weird
drunk
shit.
eating.
Someone falls into a bush and we all laugh in the front. And from that one camera angle, I miss it.
We get a shacker who like comes in
at 5 a.m. and I'm like, how'd you get up?
Sneaks out. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So it's Monday morning now, 7 a.m. Alarms are going off. It's time to work. Lindsay goes back into her room, but her and Steven do not speak because Steven is already up working. Okay.
He's working.
Dude's
Shocker.
busy. Dude has not left his chair.
He left his chair to make that meal, and that's it for Kyle's birthday.
Here's my thing, though. Coming from someone who likes their alone time and just like needs time to process, if I'm working all day and then like I don't even have time for myself, I don't have time for this relationship. And maybe that's just Steven needs to get out of this relationship or something, but Steven probably wants to spend the only free time that he has like decompressing
and being alone. Yeah, that's a good.
Dude's already up. But Kyle and Amanda are up. They're cuddling. You know, they're kind of on their own schedule because lover boy. Talk about getting a puppy. Super fun. Carl's up at 7 a.m. Makes his bed. Is the first thing
every day. Yeah,
do you make your bed every day?
I started doing this. This was my Lenten thing last year for Lent, obviously. And I stopped doing it like when I came to my parents for the pandemic, but I started doing it again. And I always thought it was so dumb when people made their bed.
I think it's dumb. I still think it's dumb.
I love it now.
I still think it's dumb. I'm Carl from like old Carl. That's like, I'm just going to get back into it.
I just lay my blanket. I literally go like this. I like throw my blanket up and I just lay it on top. That's the only thing I do. I don't like have all these pillows and crap.
I totally could do that. And I just don't.
It helps me mentally now during this pandemic to like be like, okay, now I'm getting in bed. Like I'm going to bed.
Yeah, but I like what he said because he comes from a military family and Carl's thing was like, if I'm just going to get back in bed, why am I going to make it? And his grandpa, it had to be his grandpa, was like, yeah, well, why do you wipe your ass? You're just going to shit again. Like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, Grandpa.
Hilarious.
I know. And Carl works out in the morning and he's drinking a lot of water because it's like really good for his skin. That's why we're drinking water. Cheers, Meredith.
To Carl.
Okay,
his skin is glowing though. I'm gonna start drinking water. I need to get on this train.
Same. My skin is not glowing.
Nope.
Yeah, you're like, nope. I'm looking at you.
No, mine isn't.
So Paige and Amanda talk about Luke. Hannah's really hurt. She doesn't like that Luke said they were just friends. And it's a trigger when guys yell at her. Because when she was a tennis player, she always had these male coaches yelling at her about how she wasn't good enough. So when Luke yelled at her, it was a trigger. And Luke calls Hannah his little sister, and she says verbatim that he ejaculated in her mouth twice, and you don't do that to your sister.
Like Paige is not even reacting to this conversation.
My jaw dropped, and I like looked around, and I was like, I've never ever in my life been like, yeah, he ejaculated.
I can't imagine. I would be pissed if my friends like were this deep. I'm like, leave me alone. Stop. It is 7 a.m. I don't want to talk about Luke ejaculating in your mouth right now.
And then I wanted her to stop there, but the fact that she's like, and you don't do that to your sister. I was like, stop. You just painted another picture I hated.
I know.
Oh, that was bad. So Lindsay's hungry, and I was like, bitch needs a sandwich. Where's Steven? No. So Lindsay, Carl, and Sierra are outside by the pool. Carl's really liking Sierra in her bathing suit.
Yeah, he likes to look at those beach bums sitting on the pool. Yeah.
And he's already hooked up with fucking everyone else. He might as well.
I was thinking about that. Carl has literally gone through everyone except
Hannah and Amanda.
Yes. And Amanda doesn't count since they're in a relationship. But I was like, holy fuck. He really has gotten his way around.
He's just, but Sierra's giving Carl some Southern Belle vibes. And Sierra's like, what are you talking about?
He's like trying to like subtly like friendship flirt here to like get like better friends. And hopefully like maybe something could happen.
Yeah. But meanwhile, Sierra's talking about how, she didn't like how Luke talked to Hannah last night, but she feels better about Luke after talking to him one-on-one. And Carl and Lindsay are like, oh my God, Sierra's too good to be in this house. She needs to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But I love it. Okay, and now we're working. Hannah's doing her podcast. Danielle and Steven have real jobs because They haven't, whatever.
Danielle is on a strict schedule, though. Jeez.
Meetings. I like how she plays some basketball for her workout. I enjoyed that. That's like a fun workout.
Yeah. Well, and she's like, later I'm going to do a HIIT workout too. Like she's squeezing it in during her lunch. Like she's doing the basketball. I love how she
schedule pee breaks because she.
I love how she like goes and showers and then she's like, I'll turn my video on in a minute, and she's like in her towel, and I'm like, I'm stressed for you. I'm stressed.
I love it. I'm stressed. Like I work a lot and I couldn't imagine working like that. That's insane. Luke's busy outside making bracelets at his workbench. Kyle and Amanda are doing laundry. Okay, so back to Luke. He calls his mom and dad. He shows them the workbench, and this is the most Midwestern dad thing, because his dad is like, you need two more.
You need to put a 2x4 right here.
Yeah, if you angled it differently, it would hit. And I was like, this is Midwest. This is totally Midwestern dad being like, I'll help you build better. So that's something my dad would do. And it's like,
so janky. It's just let's just add another 2x4 to really secure that.
Right in there, right in the middle. But they're like, why are you working right on the pool? Why can't you work on your deck? And he's like, oh, because it's too loud. And I don't know
Could you imagine if he was like, I don't even know how to make a bracelet, but like hammering shit right on your.
Is he welding metal? Is he like flaming?
I don't know, because later he talks to Steven about it, and he's like, I'm gonna get and he like starts talking about a machine. He's like, I need to put up a tarp, and I'm like, what is happening?
This is a lot more work than it is.
I can't wait. Like, we better see him. We better see him
welding his metals to make the bracelets. But yeah, so personally, I don't care if he's by the pool or not. This would be too loud for me. I'd be pissed. I
was wondering why he's even still that close to the house. He should like go by the tennis court.
There's a whole effing yard. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But Luke loves to work with tools. Again, another very Midwestern fucking like. You work with your hands and tools and men.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done with modeling. It's fine. I'll do it a little bit, but like my passion project is my tools.
I love my tools, man. So we can say this because we're straight up from the Midwest. So we know
we're right in the heart of this country.
Also, his Minnesota accent comes out so hard talking to his parents. He's like, yeah, I can't do a Minnesota accent.
No, don't even try. But I know what you're saying.
But he's like, you see it, And I was like, oh my God, dude, fucking, I can't. You know? But yeah, he tells his family that he really likes Sierra and wants to pursue it.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Also, there's a dead frog in the pool. Sad.
Did you hear me? He was like, I'm gonna cook it up again. So Midwestern. He's like, I'll just cook this up for dinner. I'm like, oh my God.
One time, in college, I was dating this guy, and he wanted me to meet his family, and he goes, yeah, we're gonna go squirrel hunting. And I was like, squirrel hunting?
No.
And I was like, what do you do with A, I've never been hunting. B, I don't like to kill any, like,
absolutely
it's just not for me. But then this guy is like, yeah, we hunt squirrels. And I'm like, what do you do with dead squirrels? And he goes, you eat them. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Sorry. As Midwestern as I might be, I'm from a fucking city. I don't do that.
Nope, absolutely not.
Nope, sorry.
Especially squirrels.
That's what made me think of this. Like, I'm going to fry it up. I was like, oh, no, I hate men. Okay, so it's Monday afternoon now. Paige and Amanda are all working together / gossiping. Amanda had to get out of her room because Kyle's on so many calls. It was like a Lindsay and Steven moment where they just needed to separate. You get it. Lindsay's hanging out with Danielle because she had a late work day. And this is why she can make people fucking sandwiches. This is what made me
You can
so
see Danielle.
Mad.
She's like jealous. Lindsay's like,
Danielle's
she's in her bathing suit. She's like, I had a light work day, just like a few little things. And Danielle's like, cool.
Danielle's literally like, I had to hop on a Zoom call with a towel on because I didn't have time to put a shirt on. So that's nice. Paige and Amanda fill Hannah in on the Steven Lindsay, I call it Sandwich Gate. That's what this has turned into. Because it's such a thing. And Lindsay and Steven haven't talked because Steven's been on Zoom calls all day. Oh, he's working. And Danielle's like, I feel the tension, but I also get it. So
yeah, she's like, everyone can hear you when you fight. Like, everybody knows about this.
Yeah, also, it's awkward. Lindsay says the relationship before COVID was great when it was just the two of them, though, and they
were like socializing. Yeah, it was going great.
And then COVID hit, and it was just the two of them, and it went downhill. So I don't know why they already didn't break up. This is where I'm like, this is a red flag if you two can't be alone.
Yeah, but they said that they were alone for like 72 days and they didn't live together.
17 days.
I don't know why I said 72.
17, a little over 2 weeks.
But here's the thing is they both had their own apartment. So like they should have just separated every once in a while and then came back together. I don't understand why they, like Amanda and Kyle have to be together. They live together.
And I would think, okay, here's my other thing. I picture like we're working in the pandemic. I'm living with my boyfriend. And let's say I'm Steven and whatever. Lindsay would always be like, hey babe, are we going to eat dinner together? Are we going to watch TV together? Are we going to then go to bed together? Like, I'm sure Amanda and Kyle have it like, hey, I'm going to go in the other room. You can stay in the living room. Yeah. We're not going to talk for like 7 hours. And then
they said both Steven and Lindsay have studio apartments at this time.
So why don't they do a studio too is like a fucking nightmare with anyone.
With anyone. Yes. With anyone, not even during a pandemic.
Even with my own fucking mother, I'd be like, Mom, why are we in the studio together? Even though I love my mom and she would be annoyed with me.
But I do agree. She thought it would get better whenever they moved into this house because there's more people to talk to.
There's more room. There's stuff to do.
Which is weird because now it's like there was too much time together and now it's the complete opposite where she has zero time with him. That it's like, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? Like you have other people to distract you now. Like you should be doing the quality time with them.
Yeah. Because you spent 17 straight days in a studio apartment with this man, okay? That's enough quality time to last the whole year.
Yeah, like let him be and you should just distract yourself with your friends.
Paige gets it, though. She's like, Lindsay's 34. Like you said, she doesn't have time, but she does give the relationship 2 weeks. Hannah gives it 3 weeks. And Amanda's like, I'm so happy no one ever bet on my relationship. And they're like, oh, we did. We did. Sorry. You proved us all wrong somehow. So Lindsay then is still venting to Danielle about how Steven asks for her support, but he just like lists things he needs, which is not support. And I was like, it is kind of though. You're supporting his work by giving him a sandwich and a drink.
Yes.
So we can like move on.
But I agree that Steven is not supporting her in return.
Yeah. Lindsay, I think coming here was enough support. See, I get both sides. I just have to sympathize with Steven because I think Lindsay's crazy.
I know. I agree. I think she's being irrational. Like there's so much going on. Like she needs to give him a little grace. It's not like he's out partying instead of spending time with her. He's working.
They do need to have a conversation. That's what Danielle says. That's what we all think. Have a conversation. Keep calm, maybe, in the conversation. Will it happen?
Don't pull a Hannah and Luke.
Sandwich Gate is crazy. Okay. Now Hannah's talking about how she hasn't had sex from December until the end of COVID. Meanwhile, Luke is killing a hornet's nest, which is another Midwestern thing.
He's like, sorry guys, and he just starts spraying it. I gotta get this
hornet's nest. That's something my dad does. He sees a nest and he's like, I gotta get it now.
It's like, gotta fix this problem.
Also, I have a question. Why is everyone dressed so nice for work? AKA Danielle, if you're sitting in meetings, girl, you look so effing nice.
She had like that Zoom call. Like,
so even her bottoms were cute.
I know, that's true. She did have work pants on.
She looks very cute. Everyone looks really cute while working. I don't understand. But now it's time for wine because it's around 5 o'clock and we're done with the day. Yeah, not Steven though. Steven's still. Steven.
No, Steven's outside with
Luke. You're right. He's chatting with Luke about his workbench. And Steven tells Luke that he has not talked to Lindsay today. And Luke is like, yeah, bro, not good. But I think these two are good friends. I think these two need each other to be here. I think friendship.
I would say, because Luke seems pretty close to Lindsay. I would say Steven is probably the closest with Carl, or like could talk to Carl and Luke.
Yeah, I enjoy it. But okay, it's time for everyone needs to get their Mexican order in. No beans though, because everyone's trying not to poop, which guys at 6 weeks, just let it out. My gosh, you're going to get so sick.
You all have your own bathrooms.
Yeah, Jesus. But Carl's crushing the sober lifestyle. He's getting the food together. He's basically running the house, everyone. Now
that he's not drinking, his sole focus is what am I eating next, which I feel that. Even when I do drink, I'm constantly thinking about my next
meal. What am I eating next? Yeah, 100%. And Carl gets to go pick up the food. He's all together because everyone else is drinking. But Steven asks Lindsay to talk. And everyone is like, oh, shit, we're all going to listen because it's about to be crazy. And at the table, Paige is like, Danielle, have you ever expressed your concerns to Lindsay? And Danielle's like, yeah, multiple times. And this is still happening. So just going to shut up from now on.
Yeah, I'm just going to bite my tongue.
So Lindsay and Steven go outside by the pool. It's hard for Steven, he says, because he just works all day. So it's hard to catch up with Lindsay throughout the day. Which I also get because Lindsay works for herself, right? She has Hub Group or HubSpot or whatever.
I feel like this should be like a real turn on to her that like he is so committed. So hard. He's such a hard worker. He's so good at his job. But she does say it's really hard because he works in their room. So like she has to like creep in during the day. Yeah. It's kind of uncomfortable.
Which I also get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically Steven says he came here for Lindsay and he's frustrated because she just wants so much for him and he already like gave up his life basically to come here, and I was getting yelled at about sandwiches and like stupid ass shit. And Steven said like last night did not have to escalate the way it did. And Lindsay, he also brings up that Lindsay has not even asked him about work. Like, how's work going? Are you busy? But then Lindsay fucking escalates the situation and talks
she does apologize for yelling at him. She stops and she's like, I am really sorry.
But then she yells again about how Steven has not supported her or asked if she was fed.
Have you asked me if I've been fed? If I need anything?
No, because you're a grown-ass woman.
Has Lindsay had a sandwich? No.
And Lindsay, she's what's my love what's my love language? What is it? And Steven's like, quality time. She's like, quality time. We've hung out at all.
Zero quality time here.
No quality time. Steven literally is not flinching. He's like, your love language is quality time, man. Quality time.
Meanwhile, the rest of the house, the food is here. They're all sitting and they're all like ripping on their relationship again. And Kyle's like, Lindsay, has a real history of just like blowing up in relationships. Cue the montage.
Oh my God. Everett, Carl, I think those were the
Steven from last summer.
Steven from last summer. Steven from this summer. We get it all. I love the Everett one though that they always show her. She's like, I'm gonna go sleep with a guy in a bed overnight. And it wasn't clear enough. That's my favorite. Okay, sorry.
But he says like Steven doesn't run away whenever she yells at him. So like that's in a sense a somewhat good sign.
It's good. But so Steven's love language is affection. Which I think shows, if you bring someone a sandwich, that's showing them the affection you have.
Yes. Yeah. Steven wants someone to care for him.
Yeah. And he just needs some love.
Somebody says that at the table and they go, no, all Steven wants is a sandwich.
Sandwich cake lives. So now Lindsay's screaming about how she will never make him a sandwich again. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. Meanwhile, Carl's like, speaking of sandwiches, their food's getting cold.
He's like, what hey guys, not to
my God.
But like your food's here and it's kind of cold.
So funny. He's like, I'm just gonna interrupt them. Carl cannot stand wasted food. Now that he's sober, his attention is so much
so about food. He's like, they probably want their food.
The disrespect that they're not eating their food warm. Listen, I must change.
Steven wanted a sandwich. I'm gonna get him his Mexican food on
Mexican
time.
Food. So yeah, they keep talking about whatever love languages. Steven knows how Lindsay feels. And he says, here's the compromise. He's going to try and wake up and have coffee with her every morning.
He goes,
before work.
You drink coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I'll just sit with you and talk with you.
I'll sit while you drink the coffee.
It sounds like she's at like an elderly home. And he's like, I'll just come and have a conversation with you.
I'll come see you before I go do my young people
Which this
shit.
Is perfect.
This is nice.
To be intentional about spending quality time with her.
He's gonna log on at 8 instead of 7. Yeah. Hopefully now, what if Lindsay like sips her coffee so fucking slow and he's like, Lindsay, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Sip your coffee. But it's fine. And she's gonna try and be more empathetic towards his work schedule.
It's weird because in her interview, she goes, I'm just a super empathetic person, which is a good thing and a bad thing. And I'm like, I don't think you're empathetic through here.
I do not think you're empathetic at all. So they want to take the next steps in their relationship, and Steven makes that clear, which I think also Lindsay needed to hear because she's concerned about these next steps. It's in her planner.
She's got a timeline.
And Danielle is like, great, they're going to make up and have crazy sex because that's the only good thing in their relationship. I appreciate Danielle's
commentary.
Her being so honest about like, this relationship sucks. And the only thing holding it together is the fact that they both can make each other finish perfectly somehow.
Yeah, she says like no matter what like emotional problems they're dealing with, they can always do things physically. And everybody's like, what? Never. Like if I'm in a fight, don't talk to me, don't look at me. And the best part is they're like, well, I think they should take sex off the table. And Hannah makes that comment under her breath and is like,
oh my
God. I mean,
God.
I was in a relationship for 10 months with no sex and all emotional. But I mean, that doesn't count.
And I was literally like, oh my God, how awkward.
Like, oh
they keep showing the trash ready to be taken out. Are we going to have a big fight about trash? Is this what's going to come? Is Hannah?
I don't know, because they keep doing a straight up arrow to where Hannah just like sets it down next to the door.
Yeah. I don't know if they're
Carl? Like shading her or if something's going to happen.
Carl sneaks out in the middle of the night, takes out the trash just because he cannot handle it. Okay. Paige is in her bed FaceTiming Perry, but her Wi-Fi sucks. And they're talking about moving because Perry wants to move to Miami for 6 months. But Paige is very nervous because her and Perry alone in COVID or like in quarantine did not really work for Paige. So
yeah, they had a few little fights.
Yeah. So if they move to Miami and it's just the two of them, she doesn't know if she could do it. That's hard.
She says, like, I don't know if I uproot my whole life and it doesn't work out, like, what do I do? Which they're not moving there forever. So I wouldn't really say you're uprooting your whole life. This seems like a short-term thing and not as scary in my opinion.
And she can work from wherever. So that's not, so I wonder is it for Perry's work? Because if it is for Perry's work, then
maybe he's opening a restaurant down there.
That like might take some priority because, Paige can do her stuff remote.
We might have a Lindsay Steven type of fight where it's like all you're doing is working and I'm just sitting around.
Maybe. We'll see, I guess. But Sierra falls asleep. Okay, I'm gonna ask. I may not make my bed, but I do not sleep on my bed with a bunch of fucking clothes on it in my bathing suit.
I have
This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare. She needs to just push the clothes onto the floor or something. Yes. Don't put it on the bed while you're sleeping. I don't know. Sorry. Kyle found a huge bug in his bed. I would have called the police. This was absolutely disgusting.
Did you put this here, Amanda?
It's like, no. And then she flicks it onto him and he screams. I get that. I was horrified.
I love their relationship this season.
I was horrified. Kyle and Luke. Was it Kyle and Luke? Carl, sorry. Carl and Luke are chilling by the pool. They're watching badminton, maybe?
No, they're watching a hockey game.
Cool. Better.
They bubbled up and we're doing
perfect.
The playoffs.
I literally was like, badminton? Why?
No, it was Carl.
Okay, cool.
Or it was hockey.
Hockey. But Steven fell asleep and Lindsay's so sad that like Steven's not up, but she does whisper
she was in a bathing suit.
Yeah, I'm confused. Why is everyone going to bed in bathing suits?
I don't know. She's like poking at him like, oh, are you asleep?
And then she goes, if you finger me in the middle of the night, I'm not going to be mad. And he wakes up to that. I'd be like,
what the fuck? I was just
pulling a Carl. Right in the middle of the night, we're all sleeping, and it's just the finger.
Oh my God! Oh, no kissing! Stop!
Kissing.
I forgot that even happened last season.
But Carl hasn't had sex since April. Meanwhile, Lindsay and Steven are fucking getting it. These two, Lindsay is not shy about having sex on camera. She is not shy about it. We have seen Lindsay.
That physical relationship is not slowing down.
But Carl's worried next time he has sex, he's gonna have a heart attack.
I love Carl so much.
I love sober Carl. He like makes me cry. It's so funny. Okay, so now it's Tuesday morning. Again, we're up for work. Steven and Lindsay seem fine. Must have been the finger in the middle of the night.
She's like sitting on his lap, kissing him later. Yeah. They seem like they're doing pretty good.
What does she say? She's like, isn't this nice? And he was like, he has his hands just on her ass and he's like, yeah, it's nice. And I was like, oh, I hate it.
This is the quality time she wants.
Paige is taking pictures by the pool. I love her job. This bitch just has to pose in a cute outfit and then edit the photo.
So cute.
And she does. Brands basically pay her to post pictures of herself in their clothes.
When she was like getting dressed, she was like, man, I just look so good in 70s.
I want her self-confidence always. Like whatever I put on, I'm like, damn.
I want her hair. Her hair is
hair is perfect. Paige is perfect. But this part, the next thing she says absolutely fucking murdered me. She goes, it's just amazing, like, where I am. I started off living with my parents and like off of them in college. And then I moved to New York. And now all of a sudden I'm like responsible for myself. And I was like, that's that's me.
That goes back to that pre-show when we talked about adulting, like how Gen Z hates the word adulting. Paige is like, I'm adulting now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Because I even turned to my roommate and I was like, listen to this line. And I read it and she, like, my roommate just looks at me and goes, I do that every fucking day. And I was like, I know, it's amazing.
Paige is like patting herself on the back. Like, I'm responsible for myself.
I'm adulting. She's the one that's like, hello, everyone, I'm adulting. And Gen Z is trolling her.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I love her editing her photo under her scarf. She's like, oh, it's so fucking hot out here. My life's so hard. And she was just editing her photo. Sierra. So Sierra is a little different, right? She's been working as a nurse for the past 7 months in COVID, which is insane. Any frontline workers, I give it up to you. I do not know how you've done it.
Especially in the thick of it in like March and April and
crazy.
Yikes.
So this summer, she's at this house, right? She can't leave. This bitch is not doing a damn thing. And she loves it. She does not care, but she should spend her time cleaning her clothes off her bed. I am just saying that is the one.
That's true. She has so much time on her hand. You know what? She should be responsible for getting Steven lunch.
Yeah, honestly. She shows up she goes to everyone's door and is like, hey, can I get you a sandwich?
She just mass texts, what can I get people for lunch today? Also, when she was walking to the cabinet, she's like, what do I want to eat? She's like, bored eating, and I'm like, I love you. I support this though, right? You're a nurse, you get asked to be on the show, so you can't work because you can't leave. So you're like, I'm just not gonna fucking do anything. I'm like, hell yeah. You're just gonna sit by the pool and get the Bravo check. She's not even doing like kind of trying to be an influencer yet because doing pictures like Paige. It's like I also love to. She's like not trying to be entertaining. Like, you know, if like Carl or like Kyle. If Kyle didn't have a job, this dude would be pulling pranks. He'd be making it super entertaining for Bravo. No, Sierra's like, I'm going to lay by the pool, and if Bravo wants to film me, Bravo can film me, but I'm not doing anything. Just going to wait around until everybody's finished with work today.
I love it. And then Luke and Hannah have not spoken. These two are so awkward. They come face to face in the kitchen, and it is so
Did you see Hannah was like sitting at the countertop, and Luke walks up and just immediately like turns because he's like, nope, I'm gonna go to a different countertop.
And then Hannah's like making lunch, and she like swerves away from Luke as he's coming out of the pantry.
And he goes, so hey, awkward. He said something to her, and she just ignored him. So he follows. He keeps trying to talk to her, but Luke says Hannah's just being a baby and putting on a really good show for everyone, which. Listen, if you're pissed, of course you're going to put on a fucking show. I'm going to ignore you.
I'm going to be pissed.
I'm going to drag you. Of course I'm going to
let you know I'm pissed.
Kidding me?
But Luke wants to clear the air so it won't impact Sierra, which I appreciate because poor Sierra's trying to have a drama-free fucking summer, bro. She's by the pool not working. She's trying to chill. But he's so glad that he did not sleep with her, which
I don't like this comment. I don't like this comment. It's super douchey.
Yeah, because he's like, then it'd be even worse. But okay. I have a question. Sleeping or ejaculating in someone's mouth twice? I think what Luke and Hannah did is like almost more intimate.
Yeah, he acts like they've done nothing except for kiss.
And we know he ate Hannah out for like an hour and a half last season because we had to listen to it and I didn't know what the fuck it was.
Here's my thing is his comment when he says like, I'm really happy I never slept with her. It kind of alludes to that she's being like emotional, dramatic, and it'd be worse. And like the connection would be even deeper if they like slept together, which I'm like, Luke, you're not like seeing what the problem is here. It's the mixed signals. Yeah. It's not that like how far your relationship went.
It's not that like, your dick didn't go in her vagina. It's that you're playing her ass.
Yeah. You're texting her and Sierra at night, flirting with both of them.
Personally, if we had sex, fine, maybe I get a little emotional, but I'm gonna get more mad if you ejaculated in my mouth fucking twice. Then we're in a seriously committed relationship. If I give you a blowjob, we must be married. Let's talk about it.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You're so
So, okay, it's Wednesday afternoon. This is when Lindsay and Steven are having their middle of workday ass session, and Lindsay cannot wait to fucking have kids and get married. She can't wait.
Also, did you hear her comment? She goes, "You can't work this weekend."
Yeah,
she like tells him he can't work this weekend. I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
Really up to you, but okay. Meanwhile, Amanda is sending and she's wrapping and sending out Loverboy merch. I should buy a t-shirt. I was like, I should buy a t-shirt. Amanda's hot. Like, this bitch, how does she not work out? How does this bitch just appear to be this attractive?
Yes.
She's got perfectly like sized boobs, but like a small ass stomach.
Nice little ass.
She's perfectly tanned.
Mm-hmm. Those little shorts, and it was like a crop top.
I was like, damn, Amanda, of course Kyle's not getting any work done. I'm looking at you. I'm not taking any notes. I'm distracted. Okay.
Which, it's so funny. Kyle's like, I used to come to the Hamptons to party and like let loose. But now I'm working 80 hours a week, and Amanda's just looking fine over there. You know, like, what the fuck is this life?
He goes, I used to come to send it, and then you just see Kyle partying, and I was like, oh, is that what send it means? I wasn't sure. I was confused.
Haven't realized what it means over the last 4 seasons.
But yeah, we're finally profitable at Loverboy. We have teas and spritz and merch. I like a good like hard tea. Okay, Truly came out with teas, and they're really good.
I've heard,
so fucking good. But the creative juices are flowing. Kyle's boner is popping. We got it all happening here.
Kyle and Amanda are doing so great this season. Yeah. I really hope it doesn't go down.
She's even so nice. She's like, hey boss, I'm gonna go take a lunch break.
That was
Kyle's
funny.
Like, okay,
1 hour. Also, Danielle takes her lunch break, this time in the hot tub, and falls asleep.
That's wine. I was crying because we get her snoring, and I was like, I hope she set an alarm. She's got meetings.
I love this.
So now it's Wednesday night. It's time for dinner. Carl's ready to figure out dinner.
We don't get Carl working. We just get his food management.
Well, he's working for Loverboy, I think, right? So it's like maybe a little. I think he
is.
He's currently still on the Loverboy team. Because on Instagram, him and Kyle post about it. They do like videos together.
Okay.
So maybe he's doing Loverboy and something else, and sales is commission. He's like, I don't know. But Carl's figuring out dinner because he is the man of the house. Okay. No one tell Kyle.
Backbone of this group. They would
tell Kyle.
This place would be on fire without him. They all agree.
Also, they're trying to figure out dinner, and they still don't have a fixed stove. This man has not come back yet. Kyle has not had time to talk to this man about the stove.
Data.
Still don't have it. So let's get ready for dinner. Hannah forgot utensils. It's fine, but she does move because she doesn't want to sit next to Luke because she's disgusted by him. Which I think she's been kind of dramatic now.
I know. She's making this way more awkward than it needs to be. I understand not wanting to sit next to Luke, so you position yourself like next to your girlfriends. But like she literally gets up after she sat down because she realizes Luke is going to sit next to her and is like, I need to sit over here. Is it cool if I sit over here, everybody? Like she's like calling it out. I'm
disgusted by the person on the other side of the table. And we're all like, okay. Play it a little cool. Again, we're just going to play it cool, like a little bit. And then Sierra's like, hey man, do you guys is it okay if I say grace? And everyone's like, sure. So Sierra's giving this really nice grace. And in it, Hannah has to shade Luke.
Yes, because she's talking about relationships, starting new ones, making the current ones better and stronger. And Hannah goes, what about the relationships that you lie about?
And I was just like, Hannah, I don't care if you believe in God or not, but this was not the time.
This is not the time.
Poor Sierra was probably like, bro, because Sierra obviously believes, and it's kind of disrespectful to shade someone in grace.
Yes.
Whatever. It's fine.
This is the second dinner in a row she's made a comment under her breath in quotes, but
first
not everybody
Mexican
can hear.
Night, and now this. So I think Luke is sick of it. And he's like, hey, Hannah, sorry to interrupt your dinner, but like, can we go chat, please? Yeah. Jeez. So we let's just get over this. Luke needed some time the other night because he did get upset and he felt bad seeing Hannah cry. And he says that, but coming into the summer, he thought they had an understanding about like where they stood. And Hannah is like, in December, we would start like kissing hello. And then like COVID happened, which again, I see both sides, right? You're kissing someone in December and then like COVID happens. And so you're like, I'm dating him, but also I can also see it where like, we've never defined the relationship. So like, maybe we're done.
It's just like blurry, she said.
There should have been a conversation. And Luke thought there was a conversation, but Hannah apparently wasn't a part of that conversation. So
he was messy. Like, when I was in Minnesota, we had a conversation. And Hannah was like, like you said, if you want to put a label on it, I don't, like we can, but I don't really want the labels. Like Hannah says that's what he said. And he doesn't deny that. So this is where I'm like, you're saying things that are confusing to her. You're saying you don't want to put labels on it, but you're not saying I want to see other people. Like, let's keep this casual.
Yeah. He's walking that fine line of it could be either one.
Yes.
But because they talk every day, Hannah's going to assume that they're dating, obviously. Yeah. But Luke's then like, actually, I said that we could be friends. And Hannah's like, what? And he goes, also, I'm happy we didn't sleep together. And Hannah's like, what? And then Luke's like, I don't know how I could be more clear. I brought a girl to the house. And now Hannah's pissed. These two just cannot communicate. They can only flirt and that's it.
I know.
They can't actually have a friendship.
Because they do a terrible job of even communicating like about the fight and where they both stand, even like in everything. Yeah. Like they're both mad at each other. They're both mad that the other person thinks what they're thinking, but it's like, okay, well, let's sit here and be like, okay, fine. We aren't anything. We're both mad at each other. We need to figure out how to become friends again. That's what this conversation should have been.
They can't. And Hannah's again starting to cry. Was this where Hannah was like, oh, I'm trying to like calm down, like hold it in.
Yeah, she started yelling and she goes, I'm really getting heated. Like I just need to calm myself down, which I thought was really good, but it was really sad because like Luke is screaming at her, like yelling at her, and she's trying not to yell at him.
But then Hannah does lose it and she starts crying. So she walks away and she's like full on hyperventilating, crying. So of course the girls get up and go with her, except they're like, let's go. Except Danielle. Danielle had a moment of like, do I leave my food or do I go with Hannah? Also, I feel like Danielle and Hannah aren't that close. So Danielle's like, do I go or do I just like
not? But even Lindsay went. I was kind of shocked.
I was dying though at Danielle still sitting there. I was like, that's my favorite scene of everyone up except Danielle. Okay. But yeah, so now Luke's also really pissed that everyone's involved, and Lindsay kind of takes Luke's side, right? Yeah. Okay, this is where my Wi-Fi started to cut out, and I told Meredith this. I would miss like 2 or 3 seconds every 30 seconds. So like
Lindsay said in her interview that she's taking Luke's side, but she does go to Paige and Hannah's room to talk. Paige says that Luke looks like an idiot. Carl says Luke is the hottest guy Hannah will ever not have sex with. Amanda says Hannah wanted more. And Kyle's like, he's just not that into you, bro.
Never has been, never will be.
Yeah. It's not happening.
Luke comes up to the table and he tells, the dudes that are still left there.
Dudes plus Danielle.
He feels bad, but he's like, this is where I was like, is Danielle here? But she wasn't. But he feels bad, but Hannah's like twisting his words into something he didn't say. Meanwhile, Hannah's with the girls and she's crying.
Well, Luke also says that Hannah thinks that he's just like being so mean now. And he's like, I'm just vocalizing all the things I've been sweeping under the rug for months. And I'm like, what is the problem here? Like now Luke is like, in my opinion, attacking like their friendship, and he's kind of going below the belt about things that are not related to this fight.
Also, if you're not attracted to someone, why do you have to sweep stuff under the rug with them? Like I've never had a friend where I'm like, I have to sweep this under the rug with you because like it's not that big. I mean,
I feel like every friendship has like 1 or 2 things you just get over and like you just deal with, but it's not like I'm sweeping this under the rug and like ignoring it.
Up, and then like I just explode. I just didn't get it. But
I think Luke feels like he's being made to look like the bad guy here, so he wants to also make her look bad about other things.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think too, he's kind of pissed that like Sierra is now involved and he was really going to try and make it work. Sierra and Hannah, okay, as much as I don't want Hannah to do this, every girl does this. Hannah's going to try and sabotage Luke in Sierra's
she's like
eyes.
She's painting him in a light that she kind of deserves to paint him in, but it is going to affect Sierra and Luke because like Sierra's going to see or hear all these things and be like, what the fuck?
Because Sierra goes with the girls and she's actually been pretty close with like Paige, Hannah, and Amanda. That's who she like mainly hangs out with. So yeah, Hannah's crying with the girls. She talks about how she's been on a leash since she's met him, which again, I was like, where? Does this go back to the flirting thing?
I think she kind of is on a leash. It's like he lets her go so far, but he always brings her back in. It's like we're always basically like we're
just flirting with her though.
No, but like they were hooking up. Like they weren't sleeping together, but they were hooking up from the summer through December, and it's like you know, like we're not like officially dating it together. So like if she goes out and like meets somebody else, he like reels her back in. It's kind of like he just kind of keeps her in the orbit.
To me, that's more Hannah loving that idea. So then whenever Luke is like, hey, I'm back, she's like, ooh, like hello again.
Yeah, I think she lets it happen, but I think he does keep her in the orbit, like keep her as an option, I'll say. Like
he keeps her
the embers alive.
She put the leash on, and he did grab it, but
he'll reel her back in.
Yeah, I think both of them suck. But then she's like, Luke is so obsessed with me, and I'm like, oh girl,
I know. That's what I'm like,
and she's like, he keeps saying he doesn't care, but like he obviously does because he's obsessed. And I was like, oh no. And then Luke is like, he doesn't understand that why they can't just be friends. And Sierra's pissed again that Luke talked to Hannah this way. So this whole thing's a fucking mess. And honestly, I'd rather talk about Sandwichgate for another 5 hours than
me too. Also, I don't like that like Hannah keeps saying that Luke brought Sierra to rub it in her face. No. And I'm like, that's not what's happening. That's not it. Luke is just like, I like this girl. She's going to come with me.
And he didn't think about Hannah's feelings. He didn't. Mm-hmm. He didn't think about Hannah's feelings, but that's the problem because he didn't think about Hannah.
He's obsessed with her. So she thinks his actions are always like he's involved in his mind and in his
We are still in different books on different pages. We still
in different libraries, different cities.
We are in different like universes,
time zones.
We have no idea what's happening. Different planets. But that's how it ends because next time we get beach day, and we get to see Sierra's nice ass boobs. Lindsay and Steven have an anniversary
that they kind of both forgot about. It seems like.
Yeah. Luke and Hannah talk again. Amanda and Hannah fight because Kyle yells at Hannah. I'm so excited for this.
I can't wait for this. This is when we get that. I don't understand why I'm being yelled at a little blonde leprechaun.
Okay, in these situations, I'm going to give a preemptive warning. I usually think Amanda gets way too aggressive when people come for Kyle.
Yeah, I agree.
Like she gets so aggressive to the point that I'm like, girl.
I don't like when significant others step in when they're having a fight with somebody else.
No, not unless like if I'm getting attacked by everyone, then yeah, my boyfriend can be like, yo, you guys can calm down. But if I'm in a genuine just like fight with someone, back the fuck up.
And but no, like Amanda's not saying stop yelling at him. She's like starts screaming at Hannah and gets involved. Yeah.
She starts yelling back, which is how Amanda's always been.
I know. But also, I hate people like that though.
I don't like how she's like that too when sometimes Kyle really is wrong.
Yes. Like you should be also defending your friends when your boyfriend is wrong.
So I'm excited to see how this happens.
Me too.
Okay. But now we have to accept and block. Everyone on Summer House, it's like the opposite with Vanderpump. I love everyone on Summer House and I hate everyone on Vanderpump. So it's hard.
Oh, I know who I'm accepting.
Who are you accepting?
I want to do that first. I'm accepting Carl. He is, that skin is glowing. He is managing that food. This is the person I want to be in the house with. The fact that he's coordinating all these dinners, I'm obsessed with. And he's like so happy. This is his pride and joy of the summer is like, what are we eating next?
I know. I love it. I think I might accept Sierra. I appreciate what she did, and now I appreciate her taking a well-deserved 3-month or 6-week break of doing absolutely nothing. And
she's
her job
on vacation.
Her job's kind of safe because she's going to go back into the field and they're going to be like, we don't actually need a nurse. Of course they're going to need a nurse, so she's good to go.
You know what? Amanda next episode needs to take a book out of Sierra. Sierra knows when to tell Luke that he's wrong, but also sees that like Hannah is wrong a little bit too.
Yeah. And we'll just step out of the situation and be like, I'm just going to lay by the pool, do my own thing. Yeah, I appreciate Sierra talking to Luke. I appreciate her calling him out. I appreciate her not trying to get involved.
She's like supporting Hannah though too. Like she's listening and supporting Hannah.
This bitch is playing it so effing cool. I wish I could. Look, listen, I'm a cool ass bitch in most situations, but I want to learn better.
She's the epitome of a cool girl with a guy who likes her, being nice to the girl who likes your guy.
Yeah. And now Hannah can't even be like, I hate Sierra because you can't. You can't. No, she's chilling. She's just chilling.
Oh, that was a good accept. Amazing. I love Sierra.
Carl was my other one. So good. I have people to block, but am I just going to do the same people over and over and over again? Probably.
Well, I'm blocking Luke. I think he kind of does need to identify that he is leading Hannah on a little bit, like with the good night text and the this and the that. Like he needs to realize like he can't do all of that They needed some separation before they really are friends again, between the hooking up and being actual friends. And I don't think he gets his role in this. And she's yelling at him too, but like his yelling at Hannah is screwing his own relationship with Sierra over. And he doesn't see that.
Yes. So I was gonna block Lindsay, but I truly fucking enjoy Sandwichgate. I do. I think it's the funniest fucking thing.
And I think their second fight was productive.
It was fun. It was a fun thing, especially too when she's like, "What's my love language? That's my love language. I like quality time." It's funny. So I'm gonna block Hannah, I think. So I'm gonna go opposite of you. Though I don't think Luke is correct. Hannah's got to stop with this. He's so obsessed with me. Sierra's just a pawn.
She's doing it in her interviews too, and I'm like, girl, you gotta. I get in this situation like when you're in the thick of it in that house where you're like, he's so in love with me because you're just in this headspace. But like, this is I don't know how long after they do their interviews, but like,
it's a lot. Also, I understand when you're pissed at someone, you're gonna make them know you're pissed at them, but also it's just causing a lot of tension in the house. You don't have to shade Grace. You don't have to fucking at Mexican night ruin that. Like, just both of you shut the fuck up and get out of the house.
In your room with your BFFs, not at a fucking family dinner.
When poor Sierra is just trying to thank the fucking Lord.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that's mine.
She's trying to thank the fucking
I'm
Lord.
telling you though, if Sandwichgate wasn't so entertaining, I would have blocked Lindsay. But man, I hope it goes on forever.
I hope we get another sandwich request.
I hope he asks for another sandwich and
I hope he literally like sees Lindsay walk in the room, goes and finds anyone else and asks them for a sandwich.
Do you want a sandwich?
And then I hope she gets pissed that he asked somebody else for a sandwich.
You know what would be awesome? If him and Danielle were bonding over how busy they were, and Danielle was like, "Oh, I didn't even get to have lunch because now I have a call," and Steven brings her a sandwich without being asked to. Oh my God, I'm gonna write this.
So many things like this could happen. This sandwich. I hope they have sandwiches for their anniversary.
Summer House fanfic. Okay, wait. So we do have a few things to mention. So Chris said his spotlight of the week is Lindsay. I disagree. I don't think we should give this bitch any more time, but I get it. But Lindsay's toxic, and she has, in his opinion, she's just like all over toxic energy, which I get.
I think she's really toxic.
She is. She's just a toxic person. She loves to fight and like
she needs to go to therapy. People. Her mom issues are just still raging in her life.
Aunt Rhonda is not your mom, Lindsay. This is still your trauma. I love Aunt Rhonda. I hope we get.
You need to go to therapy and deal with your abandonment issues.
Okay, so now we have some thoughts from Jackie. Really quick, she agrees that Amanda's nose looks really different this season. I know I mentioned it once.
You did say that, yeah.
Amanda's nose looks insane. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie also says, hey, ladies, didn't like Luke being a total a-hole to Hannah, sorry. I'm 99% sure he was into her last summer, but talking to Sierra too. Yeah, they're all wrong. I thought Kyle's birthday was cute, but what the fuck? The oven is still broken?
It's like funny because they have like 4 different toaster ovens, 2 hot pads. Like the
producers are trying.
They're unorganized.
Also, the best part about the stove is Kyle. Like he just makes it. Hey man, what parts you need?
Do you think that stove will ever get fixed this season?
I hope not. I hope just for the bit of it. I hope this stove never. I hope that dude comes back like 7 more times and Kyle talks to him. I hope. This is my other fanfic I'm writing. I hope the dude comes back a few more times. Kyle talks to him. The stove never gets fixed, right? The dude comes back one last time. Carl talks to him, and the stove is magically fixed. And Carl is in charge of the house.
The last 3 days.
Yeah. Okay. So Jackie also said, Lindsay was all over the place, but her BF asking her to make me a sandwich, I would have punched him in the face. Jackie, really? I do think she was mean to him that night in the roller rink. I'm sure he didn't want to work on the weekend.
Ooh, here's the thing about the sandwich.
If
he's sitting on the couch asking you for a sandwich, I fucking get that. Fuck no, I'm not making you a sandwich. But him working and being so busy, he can't even get up and get himself lunch. It's not like a misogynistic thing. It's like, I'm so hungry and I don't have time for anything.
I get it though, because like, hey, make me a sandwich.
Yeah, it's such a fucking
stupid ass joke. But I think the stove was broken, so all he could do was eat a sandwich.
It's like he's just so hungry.
Sandwichgate. I love Sandwichgate. Also, she says Carl is boring, which I don't disagree with, Jackie, but I think he's glowing. He's boring, but glowing.
Listen,
like different.
There are a lot of storylines going on that we don't need Carl to be like a superhero storyline. He's just given us those neutral little tidbits we all need and love.
But I can't wait until he is a storyline. And I hope he does. Because if Carl, I think everyone should have one major storyline. And that's my main issue with Danielle is she never really has a storyline. Yeah. So I hope Carl has a storyline, or he might be.
Paige in the preview for the season, Paige like says a comment about like maybe sleeping with Carl again. So I wonder if Carl's storyline is going to be Sierra and Paige like flirting with the girls.
You know, it'd be lit if Carl denied Paige this summer because Paige denied him. Like now, sober Carl is like, no, we would not be a good match, and now Paige is like, wait.
He like knows.
He's like, no,
he's thinking through things.
Yeah, I think that's. Wow, I'm going to write fanfic for Summer House and like let you guys know.
Beautiful.
No, I won't, but this was a good episode. We don't have our Summer House. What are we going to say this episode? How are we going to go out? What happened? Oh, I love all of you more than Luke loves Hannah because that's a 0.